Suntegrity and TRICIA Trimble. Let me just tell you a little story. Anyway, I parted ways from this woman for many, many reasons. And as I found out, she hadn't paid commissions on many accounts, many Canada accounts, many Texas accounts, Vegas accounts, California accounts. And I find this woman to be rather shrewd. I mean, she chases every penny. She does not part with money. I find her extremely greedy, and she doesn't honor work. So I'm still owed a lot of money. TRICIA Trimble knows this, and I will keep on exposing her for who she is. Now, I used an attorney once. His name is John H. Taylor. Apparently his office are in Encino. I've been there a few times. I've never seen him there. And then I heard that he's in Arizona. But anyway, this guy represented me in one family hearing. I'm not going to go into detail. It was a disaster. I got rid of the guy very, very quickly and subbed in another attorney. But this guy then represented my ex-con, or the woman that I worked for, Suntegrity. And then he started trying to push for an agreement, because they knew, you know, I brought in all these contacts. I know so much about the industry. I'm out there hustling at trade shows, making all these contacts for this woman. So this guy is petrified. You know, you're going to run off with this information. And I don't have any non-compete signed with these guys. So I can do whatever I want. TRICIA Trimble knows it, and John H. Taylor knows it. But here's the thing. When he's a very thin-skinned guy, reminds me very much of the narcissist Donald Trump. Very much the same character, I believe, you know. Anyway, so when I didn't give in to his ways, he started making physical threats. I marched those physical threats down to a detective agency, HSDA, and then walked that into an LAPD officer and got it written down on paper that it constitutes a threat. I'll show it to anyone anytime, a physical threat. His excuse was that he just came out of a surgery or something, and that he was on medication. I don't honestly care a shit. If you threaten someone, you're going to have to face the consequences, and you should know that the rules of professional conduct, there's no space for that before the State Bar of California, and luckily I have not gone there yet. Okay, so here's an interesting fact. TRICIA Trimble used this guy. So this guy first represented me, then he represents her. Conflict of interest. Okay, anything that you would sign with the guy doesn't hold up. So, long story short, TRICIA Trimble knows that getting from A to B, she had a muscle and a mouthpiece, and that was myself. Okay, when I met her, this girl had a great product. It was supposed to be a clean product. Her whole idea was to use the EWG as the platform to launch her natural product. And that worked semi, but you know, she was in the $200,000-$300,000 range, which is not really making ends meet. You're barely paying for all your overheads. You're not even paying yourself out of salary. But when I came in, let me tell you, the first thing I said, get yourself an amazing booth, a booth that sticks out, and do trade shows. Network it on the floor, get samples, thousands and thousands of samples out to people, make contacts, get accounts, and man, I tell you, in a matter of 2.5 years, it was just like this. It just shot up. So this woman knows who the muscle was, okay? Now, gathered, she's the accountant, and she watches the pennies, and she makes sure there's a little bit here, a little bit there. She's good at that. I'm not gonna fault her for that. But the mouthpiece, the muscle, the person that brings in the contacts, the tube makers, the printers, you name it, that is my personality. And when you get rewarded this much for that, it's sad, okay? Because she has a pretty good brand today. It's out there. I mean, some of the products, honestly, I tried them the other day. The shit just separates. I tried the face. I tried I tried not the tanner, but I tried the tint, and it just like squirts out water, big mushy mess. So, you know, I'm sure the ingredients are good, but if that thing gets a little bit of sun, the tiniest little bit of heat, the stuff all just separates out and becomes a sloshy mess. TRICIA Trimble, if you hear this video, and I'm sure you will, and John Taylor, the best is you come to the table and you negotiate. You know, and when you sign contracts, you get an outside attorney that doesn't represent both parties, and then sits down with the person and you hash it out. That's how it goes. And then both people sign off. Okay, not just one person. And no threats, physical threats attached to it. That's generally how contracts are done. So let's hypothetically say she is going to get bought out one day. And I hope she gets a lot of money for it. But before that's going to happen, these guys are going to look at me, because they can see, you know what, this guy is not happy, and he's voicing his opinion. I'm just out there voicing my opinion. I'm calling and pushing for a worldwide boycott. All countries, all states in the US, all natural stores. I will educate people to boycott that product until an agreement has been reached, okay? And this woman shows some true integrity, okay? Because right now, I honestly don't think there's any integrity in Suntegrity. Some things are going to have to change. The printing is going to have to be done in the United States. The tubes are going to have to come from the United States. Everything has to be made in the USA if you use the USA label, okay? Which she does, but stuff comes from Korea, China, Canada, you name it. So certain things I think would have to change before she sells this company for a lot of money. Another thing is, I think she made a disastrous mistake turning her back on the African American or the Indian market. She came out with a dark tint. And remember, Bob Marley died of skin cancer, so he would have been an ideal candidate for this type of sunscreen. Probably could have saved his life. I mean, I'm all for good sunscreen, don't get me wrong. But TRICIA Trimble, you can't turn your back on the people that you like, and you know what I mean. You love them a lot. But you can't turn your back on them. You got to fit them in there, even if it's a small percentage. This is not just all about the money. This is also about the integrity that you look out for whites, Latinos, Asians, and African Americans. Just like politics, you can't just appeal to one race. No, you have to have an umbrella approach. Okay, so I would ask you please to bring back the dark tint and make an effort. Reach out to PR companies, spend some money there. You have the money. Don't be stingy. Don't sit on your money. Spend some money with African American magazines and tap into that market and keep these people safe. Don't single them out and cut them off. I think that's disastrous. And any company ready to buy Suntegrity, I will keep pushing those videos. I will expose you even until you cover that market as well. There's a few brands that do it. I take my hat off to them. But the most are just pretty greedy, quick, fast money, shitty products like chemical sunscreens, octinoxate. I mean, to me, banana boat, those type of products, I mean, you might as well just squeeze the shit and flush it down the toilet. It's so toxic in the long term. It's absolute rubbish that you're putting on your skin and on your children's skin. So, I have a lot of fun with this. I enjoy social media. I enjoy videos. I definitely have his attention. I definitely have her attention. So the show carries on until this stubborn girl sits down at the table and says, you know what, I'm ready to compensate you fairly. And that's going to be a pretty decent chick. Not these little Mickey Mouse amounts that you pay out your workers. Ain't going to fly here. Have a great day.